cold water is going to you're going to want to check out. You're going to want to resist. You're going to want to push back. Yeah, I don't like this. The more you can engage, the more you can allow, the more you can experience and be receptive to the cold, the easier it gets. It's such an interesting experience because it's counterproductive. When you're sitting in the San Juan River and it's January and there's snow on the ground between you and the hot tub that you're going to get back to, you're sitting there being like, what am I doing? And as soon as you realize that you can just relax and allow that cold experience on, the resistance is the pain. Once you release the resistance, it is incredible the shift that will occur. And I see it all the time when I'm there. People get in the water, 10 seconds, and they get out and they're, oh, that was awful. But then they go back a second time, and now they go back from that 10 seconds, and then they kind of just, oh, this is not so bad. And then they get out and then they feel really charged. So that's the one thing I would say is it's a mental game of not resisting, not waiting to get out, but just even if for 5-10 seconds, if you can just allow the cold, you'll see it creates a totally novel experience. And one of the ways that we can allow and create that experience of, engagement is through the breath. And I think that breath is a key element for health and vitality in general. I mean, when we talk about inspiration and vitality, I mean, we're talking, in so many traditions, those words are kind of synonymous with breath. Why is that? Well, when we are engaging our breath, when we're taking kind of those deeper diaphragmatic or belly breaths, we're allowing for a higher amount of oxygen exchange. And oxygen is one of the things that drives heat in our body. And so when we're cold, if we have more access to oxygen, our body's going to be able to respond better to it. The other thing that the breath does, it regulates our stress response. So if you can engage your breath while you're experiencing a stress, which, being in a cold river is a stress, you can actually help your body not automatically go into that fight or flight stress response, but just create a little bit of capacity there. The breath is a huge part of it. And I think when the people who have had negative experiences with cold bathing and the cold phase of a contrast in general, it's usually because they're hyperventilated and they're nervous and their stress response, and then they get in the water and it goes through the roof, and then they just kind of, it's just too much. And so it shouldn't be that. We're not an extreme sport. It really is a beautiful process and a way to really engage with your strength. We do a guided experience once a day at the springs, and we call it the warrior plunge. And it really is about finding that inner warrior. And what's interesting, I think, about this archetype of the warrior in the plunge is that you look at the people who do this every day, and if you're ever on the property, you should check it out. They're standing there and they're just solid and stoic. It's not necessarily the fighter and the soldier in that sense. It's more that kind of that inner warrior of, strength. And then, of course, you then can call that strength out and give a big warrior cry, which we do as a team, and that's always really fun.